With all of my defects increasing, now there's a ghost that lives in my head. Acts like a friend, but feels like a stranger. Runs his mouth when I try to sleep. He's my enemy and my entertainer. Sorry if I wasn't listening. So many things I wish that I could say, but they just don't come out. And sorry if I'm such a fucking mess. Caught up in a cycle trying to get out, but I don't know how. I'm so tired of the distance from the things I say and the things I want. I'm so tired lately, I'm so tired. There's a ghost that lives in my head. Acts like a friend, but feels like a stranger. Runs his mouth.
What is up, DigiNerds? It is your boy, Inferno.
And David, all the way here, coming at you live.
We are indeed live, guys. This is a Digimon podcast, and welcome. We are just gonna be me and David today. So just the originals, the one, the only, the ones that you can never live without.
The OGs.
And simple thing. We want to start off like we usually start off, guys. Anyway, if you like this, like, subscribe, and comment down below some things, some of the things you might want to hear us talk about, and or some things you found interesting that we talked about today. But as usual, we're going to start off with our locals. Good old locals update. It's very small locals this weekend. Just at 8 people.
Yeah, I'm not real sure why we only had 8 people this week. It was kind of rather small. We only had 3 rounds. So it was pretty small. I guess I can kind of go first since I did worse than Inferno. I'll kind of let him go last. So, round 1, I played Victor, and he was playing the... Oh my gosh, I forgot what he was playing all of a sudden. What did he play? Not Grace Nova. But do you remember what Victor played?
Didn't he play the other like not exactly, not the star deck kind of type of thing?
No, he played what did Victor play? Why am I drawing a blank on what he played? He played Fenrir Lugamon. That's right.
Oh, he sure did, didn't he?
He played Fenrir Lugamon, and I played Royal Knights again this week. And so round 1, playing Victor. We actually had a pretty good game going. Round 1. He made some misplays, and then I made a huge misplay. My misplay definitely cost me the game because I didn't realize that I got lucky, and he was about to try and swing for game, and then he hit Lonky out of security, and so and it was the he hit it on the second check, so I still had 3. I had exactly 3 security in my 3 security cards left, so I was able to get maximum effect for Lonky. So I put the Fenrir in the top of his security stack, and then I just neg 12 something on one of his little guys that could attack. And then that next turn, yeah, I got so lucky. And then the next turn, I proceeded to goof it and lose the game because of this play. Because of that, I put him to 7 security, and I had exactly enough to swing 8 times. And I done goofed. or sorry, 6 security, and I had exactly 7 swings, and I goofed. I omnied, and I kept turn, and because he had Shine Gray out because he was able to build back up into another stack into a Shine before he passed turn, and -5 my board. And so what I did is instead of what I was supposed to do is I was supposed to just use Ult Force to strip all the source underneath Shine, and I should have just bounced back his blocker. But I didn't realize that his blocker was a blocker for some reason. It was that new Tyrannomon. I just wasn't thinking about it. And I was like, yeah, just strip all your sources from underneath Shine. And I was like, I guess just put Shine back in your hand. and then I went to start swinging for game, and he reached over at that Tyrannomon, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's a blocker. I was so mad. So then he was able to win because he was able to block the last check, and I couldn't do anything about it. I was so mad. I was like, oh my gosh. And I could have I had a Crimson Blaze in my hand, but I couldn't play it only because I had 0 red sources. I didn't have any of my red Digimon. If I would have had a Jessmon there, I would have just been able to pop it. It would have been fine. Or if I had a Genku there, I could have just played some. I could have just played the Crimson Blaze for free. But no, none of that happened, and I was just like, oh my gosh. And so he ended up taking it because after that, he was just able to swing with his little guys for game and build another Fenrir. And then game 2, he just completely wiped me out. It was gross. I had a bad hand. It was so bad that I opened up. I was going first, and I played Marcus to start. It was bad. Oh, it was a bad hand. So he swept me 2-0, and then after that round, I played against I played Timmy last, and in between that I played Tanner. Tanner was playing Leviathan, and game 1, I don't know what happened, but I like killed him on like it was either turn 3 or turn 4. I beat him. Like, it was gross. Like I had the BT12 Gallantmon, I had the Omnimon, I had Leopardmon, and just some other Digimon. I was just able to get 6 swings off, just on like turn 3 or 4. Like the first, like when I got all my eggs, I think that was turn 3. I just killed him. It was gross. And then the next game, I think the only reason why he just only happened because I saw that Gallantmon, and because he didn't see a Biting Crush, so he couldn't. He didn't have the Leviathan pop play. So, and then game 2, he Biting Crushed me like 3 times. He had like 3 Biting Crushes waiting for me, and I was just playing it slow. I was just like, I'm just gonna keep playing these one big guy to go underneath my Omni stack that does something, and then I'm just gonna play like a small guy chip and do just chip damage. So I finally got him down to where he had no health, and he was like, even if you Omni here, it's just gonna be game because you have a million of those a million guys that are about to come out when you Omni. And I was like, you know what, that's fair. So then the next turn I just ended it. I Omni'd. He was able to Biting Crush twice, and he popped like 4 guys past the turnover, and then he was at like 1 memory, so he couldn't do anything. So he just essentially went to a Leviathan X, which passed the turn, and then that didn't pass through. He went to a Leviathan X and then cracked the 7th Lightning to pop 2 more guys, but he had no security, so I just eventually won. And then round 3, played Timmy, and Timmy was playing that Dark Masters Omni Turbo deck.
Wow.
That deck was funny. I didn't really get to see it pop off because apparently Royal Knights just completely counters what that deck does, and I just quickly 2-0'd him. It was just sad because he was leaving some aces out there, and I was just popping them. gaining the memory, popping them. It was sad. I felt bad for him and all of his guys. It has a similar game plan for Royal Knight that Royal Knights has, except his big guys cost more than my big guys, and so it was. I just had so much advantage in that match, and we 2-0'd him, unfortunately. I didn't really get to see it pop off. He did go into Alter B on me, which was pretty interesting. But unfortunately, I didn't do a whole lot because I didn't have anything for him to Digivolve. So that was my locals round. I ended up getting 3rd place. So, and I went 2-1.
Yeah. And so mine was we actually played one of the same people, but I played first round I played Panda, and this is my first time seeing that new structure deck in action. You know, he had all the cards he needed to make it, you know, really good as well. Because he's been saving up for that deck to come out. So you know he had every single card he needed, and that deck wild. So I was playing Blackwood Gray, the Gray X version. No War Gray techs or anything. Not a single War Gray tech. Just straight Blackwood Gray, and yeah, it was unfortunately for him that matchup is a little bit hard. Because I am popping his tamers and I am digivolving him. But I tell you, that deck was doing things. Like, there are so many times, like every time he aced, like the first round 1, like I pushed out. I'm like, yeah, I'm chilling. I pushed out, and he just dropped the Magnamon, I think, for 7 and put me at 4. I was like, cool. I'll push out, go up, and then I was like, okay, I swing. I think I swung with like I forget. I think it was a 5 I swung with. And then he aced me. I said, 6 ace? That's a little 4, I swear to God. And so I read the card for the first time. Like, oh wait, this card is wild. So once it stunned me from digivolving up, I was like, oh no. So he ended up just stunning me out, and then I just lost again the next turn. Like, I mean, I think he swung like twice. And then I built him in the back again, but I just didn't have enough speed again to get it back out there. I put a blocker up, and yeah, it was unfortunate the way I played that. But I didn't know what it did. I had no idea. So second turn, I kind of just second game I sat in the back, and tried to just be a little bit more cautious of when or how I push out. And that definitely turned out to be my favor. I kind of waited for him to push out, and then I waited until I was either able to pop that card, or B, I don't really care that he's suspended, because if you read what it says that Mecha Argomon is that it suspends your Digimon until the end of your turn. If I remember correctly.
Yeah, well, it suspends them and then you don't get to unsuspend, if I remember.
Yeah, I think it's to the end of your turn, right? The end of his turn. Just wanna fact check, but I mean, number one, I think just that the one Magnamon that just has protection is wild. That's a wild card, okay? Can't be popped is wild, okay? Just what it does is dumb. But I'm almost positive that's what it says. It says you can't.
See, it says when Digivolving, suspend 2 of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers, then 2 of their Digimon or Tamers can't unsuspend or Digivolve until the end of their turn.
Yeah. So what I kept doing is I kept going to Black War Gray X, and then I would swing with it. He would Digivolve into it, and then even if he had another card on board, like another big guy, if he had another big guy on board, something like that, I still get to unsuspend on his turn. And so I just end up popping it. That's actually and that's how I played that matchup. I just said, okay, I'll just pop your Tamers, and then I'll just keep unsuspending on your turn, and popping it. So like the way I won game 3 is that like it was a pretty hard back and forth, and then he dropped it, he went into that, and then he maybe just forgot that I have the first game I didn't get my Black War X under it, like it didn't have the I didn't have a X antibody or Black War Gray under it. So it wasn't popping that second game that I started playing like that, but I just naturally was able to keep popping stuff, and it kept digivolving it, so that's how I got around it. I think he went through all. I think he went through 3 of them before before I finally went through all of them, or at least the ones he had access to. In that third game, I mean, we were going back and forth, and then I had my one stack, and then I was like, okay, this time I had the Black War Gray under it, and I was swung, suspended. He had 2 Digimon on board. I think what he thought, I think he best forgot that it's by lowest play cost. So it doesn't pop. Maybe he thought like it popped like highest, because I think he had something else that had higher DP on the board. But you know, Black War Gray X popping lowest play cost on unsuspend actually messed him up because of that. Because then when I unspent, I popped it and I just gained the memory back and it gave me turn again.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was. He was like, I was like, I swing for game. It was like, okay. Yeah, it was that. It was kind of wild. That was actually the luckiest thing. That was round 1. Round 2, I played against the Dark Masters deck, and that deck was wild and wild. We went through games that game as well. That first game, I just didn't know what I was playing against. Okay, he was doing all sort of things. I was like, wait a second. I push up one stack, my first stack. I'm like, okay, cool. I don't know what this deck does. I'm pushing my first stack. I'm doing fine. I swing, do like 2 checks, live. Cool. And then he goes, all right, Digivolve level 6. Did Digivolve? I was like, oh, and then Digivolve this. Digivolve by 2. I was like, oh, what? He was like, I push up. He was like, you could put the there is a I think it's a machine Dramon. He places it in the back, pushes up, swing Digivolve by 2. I said, oh, that's what that does. So I mean, I got rolled over for game 1 because I had just no idea. Game 2 and 3, I think I just played better for most part. I now knew that he could just Digivolve me a whole bunch. So I would never push a stack up unless I had Metal Gray X.
So you couldn't be Digivolve.
Yeah. I was like, you're not Digivolve me today, boy. And that's actually how I ended up winning. Because I would just play around that, and then like I think game 2 was really back and forth. Game 3, I went like I pushed up. I went to X. I went to Gaomon. Swung 3 checks. I think on like turn 2 or 3, and I was unsuspend, and then I trashed one. He was like, oh, and I was like, yeah, that was wild. And you can't Digivolve me, and that was just a wild turn. And I just rolled him over because of that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was dumb. It was dumb. I was 2-0 that, and game 3 I played against Chris, and Chris was playing good old Melga.
Yep.
The battle of the 2 prolific decks. We know what these decks do, guys. The Black War Gray versus Melga.
Melga versus Black War Gray. What a match.
Yeah, it was, bro. Okay, so we went to game 3 as well. By the way, all my games was game 3. They were bangers. First game.
None of mine went to a game 3. They were all 2-0.
Yeah, at least. First game. I believe because I won the first game. So it was pretty good. I pushed up. I hit like the perfect Black War Gray. Like he had a almost said analog youth. He had Cool Boy. He had a Cool Boy. No, he did have analog youth. He had analog youth or Cool Boy, 1 or 2. I know because he texts in a Cool Boy in analog youth deck. I'm not really sure. I'm not sure why, but he does tech in one in that deck. 1 or 2, and then he had a level 4 tamer out, and so I just had the perfect like pop to your pop your tamer, pop both tamers with Black War Gray when I first push up. Did he evolve his guy? His guy didn't have any protection, and I just killed it, and then I think I just controlled the game really well from there because he was just sad boy sad after I popped his tamers. It just really slowed him down.
Yeah. No, I can see why he played at analog youth. It's actually kind of an interesting tech, just because just in case your 1 stack dies, the turn that it dies, it's anytime you're starting to swing for game, it's at least a level 5. So instead, and when you push up, that's when you're going to start your swinging, and so you don't have anything in the back. So if it dies, you analog youth, gain the memory, and then you hatch an egg, and then now you can start digivolving that same turn to try and build up for the next turn to try and win.
That does make sense.
Kind of interesting.
Yeah, that does make sense. And crazy enough too, that first game, so I actually went up the stack, and I happened to have my Yu on board, and so when I did evolve, and I got the Yu effect after did evolve to the same level. As the last card of security was a freaking Great Maelstrom. I was like, oh, thank God!
Oh
I
wow!
almost got messed up.
Wow!
But so I ended up winning that game. Game 2, literally could not find a level 2 to save my life. My turn 1 play was turn 1 drop a Greymon with Sec +1. The second one was Greymon. That was my turn 1 play. Yeah, it was awkward. It really was. We did not that game. We just got rolled over. We couldn't find anything. He pushed out. He swung a couple times, and I don't think I saw a single rookie that game, if I remember correctly. It was a sad life.
That's gross.
Yeah,
that is a sad life.
And the fourth game was super close. I didn't see a rookie in my first hand, but I did see I think it was a Yuya. I think I Yu'd him. And then I saw rookie in my next draw. So he had the tempo on me. He put his stack up. He didn't push out the best stack. Okay, let's be honest. But it was so funny. Yeah, it was so funny. So he pushed out. He started swinging. He swung and hit. So there's only one thing that he could have died to in that entire stack, and he hit my my Omnimon. And he didn't have battle protection. And it was the only thing he could die to. So that gave me some time to build my stack up. When I finally pushed my stack out, I was able to have a Black Gray X that kind of just, as an extra blocker. I went to my, I had a Black Gray as a blocker. And I was and it was a really good blocker because I was like, okay, well, if you swing and I kill something, I unsuspend. He's like, dang, this is going to be hard. Couldn't do it. He was having a hard time getting around it. And so I push up. We're having a battle back and forth. He hits me with the new one, the new Mega that stuns. I said, "Damn, that kind of hurts." I was like, that kind of hurt me. Okay, I see you. And then he swings into my stack again, and then the next card is he has a near perfect stack, and he swings to my stack again, and the next card is the oh my god, it was my option card that blows up. The one that I usually blow up Tamers with. What's that option card name?
That you blow Tamers up with?
Yeah, you can blow anything up with it technically, but usually you blow.
The flame. Or no, not flame. The red black option card.
Yeah.
Why am I drawing blank on the name?
Yeah. But he hits that and his die disappears, and I go, wait a second. I can win. And so I go black. I go Gao Mount, so my Black or Gray. I have Yu on the board again, and I swing, and he has Maelstrom again as the last card. It was wild. So his great Maelstrom again did not hit something that hit my it just didn't work. Which again, that's kind of probably stacking the security. Let's be honest. Great Maelstrom last security check. Really? Okay. And then I ended up omniing for a game. After I got him and killed him. He took all the security away. It was a wild game, but I ended up going 2-1 in that, and I ended up winning the locals, guys. First place in Black War Gray. Woo woo!
Nice, undefeated. Oh, and that card's Hades Force. I just remembered it.
Hades Force, yeah. So yeah, that was our locals. It was fun. Definitely when you win, it's nice.
Oh yeah, would have liked more of our normal guys to show up so that we could have had a bigger one, but it is what it is.
Could have been 4 rounds. I don't know if I would have won 4th round. I ran out of luck almost. Speaking of luck, so freaking one of our friends, Brandon, we all get up there, we all buy one of the structure decks, and I'm like, man, I should go first. I know it's going to be the good one if I go first. And Brandon, he gets up there first. It's like, fuck, man, he's gonna pull it. I'm gonna be so angry. I'm gonna be so sad. I know it is. I know it's gonna happen. And he pulls it. I said, of course.
Pulled the gold Rapidmon.
Of course. I knew it. I should have went
Golly.
first. But yeah, so one of our friends pulled a go wrap mine. I've seen people pull crazy cards in front of my eyes, and it's just wild. I think somebody pulled the gold mastermind right in front of me, guys. I could not tell you how jelly I was.
You were so mad when that happened.
I was beyond
You were
furious.
so mad. And he doesn't even come anymore and play.
I know. It's
It was someone who used to play and was thinking about getting back in, so he bought a box. And then he pulled the gold mastermind.
This is back when I played Mastermind religiously.
Yep, that was kind of funny.
It was not.
But
back.
it was kind of funny. I felt so bad for you though, but it was funny. But speaking of the structure decks and new players, the structure decks are pretty banging. Not gonna lie.
That is
With what you get out of it for a $30 value, it is so good. I mean, you get all those extra packs, there's alt arts, you get the sleeves. I mean, you get some old cards, you get some new cards. It's and the deck itself is not bad. That's an understatement.
yeah, that is the understanding. The deck has some wild things. Though they introduced some wild cards in that deck. I don't know what they were doing.
That Mega Gargamon Ace, oh my gosh, that card is the best card in the set. Hands down in the structure deck. The best card. That red black, golly, it's so good.
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand why they give that. That shouldn't be a thing.
Level 6 counter. Like, oh my gosh, just being able to suspend the 2 and then they can't unsuspend or digivolve. It could be Tamers or Digimon.
The fact that they can go over top of level 4 is just, that is the wildest thing to me.
Yeah.
That, like, oh my god, a level 6 that goes top of 4? You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me.
Yeah, for real. And just the fact that, I mean, it's just so good. And then you can unsuspend it once per turn at the end of the attack. Like,
I don't understand them. I'm not.
Get 2 swings with the level 6 ace. I mean, swinging with an ace already is kind of risky, but golly, the fact that you get to do it twice.
Yeah, I mean it's level 6 ace, so it's not that bad.
If you're pushing for game, I mean, hit it for the last swing one time with it for the last check, then unsuspend, swing for the last check, swing for game. I mean,
it's not like it's low DP either.
No, not at all.
Oh.
What? It's like 12?
I think you say the 12 or 13, right?
Yeah, somewhere around there. I don't remember exactly what it is. But that card, that's going to be ran in green and black decks for sure. Like, that card is disgusting.
Every time I see any Magnemon, I'm just most wary. I'm just looking at it. Don't. You better not do it. You better not do it.
Shoot. And then you get that new Magnemon armor. Jeez,
that is wild too.
Just if it's hit out of the security, just digivolve something. Oh my gosh! And then one of your Vmons can digivolve into it. That's just crazy. Or just one of your Digimon. Sorry, it's not specific. It's just a Digimon may digivolve into this card. Like, if it can digivolve into it, like if it meets the requirements, that's kind of wild. And then its when digivolving effect is disgusting as well. Like, just being able to trash the top what does it say when digivolving? Let's see. Gains blocker. Yeah, when digivolving, trash the top Digivolution card of one of your opponent's Digimon for each of that Digimon's colors. Then return one of your opponent's Digimon with no Digivolution cards to the hand. It's like, that's just strip the top source. So you're stripping a source, and anything that's got no sources just gets put back in the hand. So if they have 2 or more colors on their Digimon, it's stripping 2 sources. The top 2.
That card is wild. That card wild. And this makes you like. This is one of those things where you're like, man, I'm so glad like that. But like, if I see that you have a 3 and back, I'm like, I'm not pushing out. Okay, I'm not happy. You go push out first.
Yeah, I mean that card alone almost makes armors playable right now. Like that armor rush deck, this card almost makes that deck like really good right now.
I mean, yeah, that with Mega Gargomon and Ace is like, yeah, no,
Yeah,
it
no, for real. No, you're right. It's gross, and
is.
it's an interesting deck, and it can do some things. Now normally you got to choose like what side you want, whether it's the Terriermon or like the Alliance side that this deck supports, for it to be good. Because they honestly it doesn't mesh too well together. It's like they put two decks into one when you're just looking at the base structure deck itself. So it doesn't like it meshes well enough to where it's playable and decent out of the structure deck. And even if you have two of them, it's playable and decent. But like, there's like two different play styles that the deck has. Like it has Alliance support, and then it has Terriermon support. And that's kind of where you want to start going with the deck, deciding how you want to play it, and bring other cards in for how you want to build it.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's okay. I mean, I think that's just like that's what people want. Um, I think giving the option. I mean, again, you can just pick up the rest of the stuff, right? It's not like it's the one thing about Digimon, right? Is that it's not pay blocked at all.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So
It's real cheap.
yeah, picking up the playable cards it's too easy.
Yeah, and I like these advanced structure decks that they're starting to come out with for Digimon, because it makes it easier for a new player to get into the game. Because if you get two of them, you have all the cards you need, and you have a deck that can do really good.
Exactly.
Better than the old structure deck starter decks that they had coming out.
Yeah, I think every advanced
Think-
starter deck has been really good.
Yeah, because we've only got two of them.
Yeah,
It's this one, and then the one before
Beelzemon.
that was the Beelzemon. The
Beelzemon
Beelzemon
changed
was
meta.
really
Yeah. I
good.
mean, Beelzemon was like
It
the best deck in
completely
format.
changed the meta. Oh, absolutely. It was disgusting. And so I don't think that this is the best deck of the format by any means. But that Mega Gargamon Ace, I think that's going to impact the meta for sure. But and obviously Magnamon goes into that Armor Rush deck. So whenever we get BT16, that card's going to be in there, and it's going to be gross in that. That deck's going to be gross.
That deck is going to be impossible to play against.
Not impossible, but very gross. It's very tough to play against.
That's impossible. Just like
It's not impossible.
Just like Royal Knights.
Royal Knights is not impossible to play against.
Yeah, Royal Knights is unwinnable for some matches. Like Royal Knights with those decks,
Matches.
like there's literally unwinnable with some matchups.
But Royal Knights also has matchups where it can't win. I.e., Blue Flare.
It can win blue flare matchups.
Not really. It's very difficult to win a Blue Flare matchup. They're just completely stunning you, and then locking you from your guys swinging with the Sorai. So it's just gross.
But they had a way to put the Sorai in the security. Just never would win.
Yeah, I know. It's already, the deck's already faster than Royal Knights, so it's just like hard to win as is. So I mean, and they can stop you from blocking as well. Like golly, and now they have jamming, so they don't even care that your guys are big in security. It's just mean. It's gross.
I like it.
It feels unwinnable.
I like it.
Stop it. You just like it because you hate Royal Knights.
I do hate Royal Knights. That deck is trash. Okay.
No, it's not trash. It's a lot of fun.
It does not deserve to be a deck.
It does. But anyway, I kind of want to talk about this product release lineup that got announced earlier this week, or I guess last week. Yeah, this past week. We'll put it like that. This past week. So, it's tentative or it's subject to change, but this is what they have set for us. So in April we're not getting anything, but in April they have us and JP just showing how we're gonna get caught up to JP. So April, they're getting Structure Deck 18 and 19, which is the those are the new manga thing. Structure Decks, I'm drawing a blank on what that thing's called. The new manga, online
The
manga.
Liberator.
Yeah, Digimon Liberator. Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
those structure decks pertaining specifically to that. Then in May we get BT16. They're getting EX7. Then in June we're getting EX6, which is kind of rough for game shops. Your LGSs, make sure you try and support them because it's 2 months in a row of back-to-back sets that are going to be very crucial to the meta if you're playing Digimon for competitive reasons. If you're playing for just casual wear, maybe you don't have to pick up both of them, but definitely if you're in the meta scene, both of these sets are going to impact the meta, so you're going to want to pick up both of them for sure. And it's going to be, it's going to be financially hard on your LGSs, and it's going to be financially hard on your player base because
Yeah,
they're back-to-back months, and they're both sets where you're going to want to get a lot of stuff. And then in June, on the flip side, JP's going through the same thing. They're having they're having BT18 release, and then July, there's a break for both sides. August, we get BT17. They don't get anything. And then in September, we get this is also going to be another rough month for LGSs. We get EX7 and Structure Decks 18 and 19. So they have to pick up the Structure Decks plus EX7, which we don't have any leaks for that yet. And then for September, JP is getting BT19, and then October there's a break, and then in November, we're getting Special Booster version 2.0. So what this is going to have all of set 18 in it and half of 19. So that's kind of what this is, and this is going to be a huge set for us. This is where you're going to want to spend a lot of money if you're in the English version, just because of what's going to be in it. It's essentially 2 sets in one, a set and a half per se. It's going to be like a
wild
set.
pull rate, bro.
Yep, the pull rate's going to be weird, so we'll see how exactly they handle it. It may be like what they did at the beginning of our start, where they had like these special things to, it was like they were going to try and get us caught up and then didn't. It was weird, from what I've heard. And then in November, JP's getting EX8, so at this point we're only like a set and a half behind now. And then December, no one gets anything. And then in January, we get EX8 and they get BT20. Okay, and this is the last set that they receive until April. So they're going to be in that meta for several months without any support. Yeah, they're going to be in BT20 from January all the way through April. And then in January for us, we're getting EX8, so we'll get the new support. And then in February, this is Special Booster version 2.5. So it's another big set for us. It's going to be the rest of 19, so whatever didn't release in that first Special Booster, the rest of 19, and then all of 20 mixed together. So it's kind of a weird gap that we're not going to have. It's going to be a weird meta for a while because we're going to get we're not going to get all of 19 before we get EX8. It's kind of funny. So our meta is going to be completely different than JP's meta from 18 to 20. It's going to be completely different.
You know what's funny about that is that Nationals is going to happen in that weird meta.
Right? Yeah, because it's going to happen in January for us, where we'll have that 18, half of 19, and then should be just getting EX8. Or it depends on when they release EX8. I assume they're gonna want it to be in Worlds.
Yeah, most likely just to boost sales.
Or Nats, sorry, our Nats, not Worlds. They're gonna want it to be in our Nats to try and boost the sales. So again, so that's getting released in January, and then in February is that big booster set. So I don't know how much. We don't have any release, information for EX8, what's coming in it. But LGSs are going to be tight for cash on this EX8 and this special booster box
It,
2.5 because they're right after each other, back to back months again, and they got it. They need to get a lot of that 2.5 because that's going to be a lot. Players are going to want that one more than they're going to want the EX8 more than likely, just because it's going to have the rest of 19 and all of 20, and that's 2 BT sets. So those are your big sets, and then in April. That's when, if 2025, that's when they're expecting us to, because that February set's going to get us caught up to them. And then we have March where there's nothing. And then April, they're back to, we're finally caught up. We're at a unified set release. So it's going to be interesting. We got a lot of sets upcoming that, you probably want to support your LGS. Otherwise, they'll stop buying your product. Just because of how financially it is going to, a burden is going to be on them for how close these sets are going to be for us.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting. So I'm almost positive. I mean, just looking at it, you would probably think that Worlds next year everyone's going to be on the same set, but actually on the same set. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's going to be in February. So yeah, Worlds next year. Everyone should be caught up, so it's gonna be good. They won't have to have the weird meta like we had for this time, where JP's trying to figure out going back and playing cards they used to have. Oh, we're not in this meta anymore. I got to go back and build this deck again to make it ready for Worlds.
Yeah, play test
and play test it, make sure it's gonna be good. They've already figured out that meta, but at the same time, like, they got to go back, replay test. Like, okay, what are people going to be bringing again? They're going back, instead of going back 2 sets like they did this, just a few weeks ago. It should be the same meta, just depending on when it releases in February.
That's kind of wild.
Yeah, for real. So Worlds and Nats are going to be very interesting for us this year. Or this upcoming, this season. We got a lot to look forward to, and I'm excited for it, honestly.
I am too. I mean, I love that no one's gonna know what's good. You all have to figure it out the same. I mean, I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. And so it really makes proxying all that more meaningful. And even still, at that point, we can't even look at. You still wouldn't even want to look at what JP's doing, just because they're doing best of ones, so they're playing decks that are just fast. That's all they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Decks that are fast and that can just blow you out. So you can't really go based off of their meta anymore at all.
That's what. I mean, I don't think proxying would be a thing anymore, really, because you wouldn't.
No, you would want to proxy. This is the reason why you proxy, so that you can find out what's good before everyone else gets their hands on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, play test stuff before you get it for big tournaments that are coming up. And so you're like, okay, you're trying to figure out the meta early. That's the whole point of proxying.
Well, but usually you would proxy things so you know what's Japan's doing, and the cards that have been already kind of released, right? But I wonder how they're going to do the releasing. Wouldn't they just release the card list? How do you think they're going to do the releasing the card list?
For the card reveals?
Because we're going to be at the same time now, so.
Yeah, they'll start doing card reveals at the same time. That doesn't change.
No, but again, how do you proxy? I'm just trying to figure out how would you proxy? You can only pull what you get. You can only proxy if you know ahead. What you're saying. You can only proxy if you know what's ahead what's being done ahead of time.
Yeah, so just I mean, just for your reference, right now, uh, JP is in uh, BT16 EX6 meta right now. That's they're in EX6 meta. That's what their release date is. And we've been having BT17 leaks since their BT16 started, since the start of their BT16. So you get it. They give it to you, 2 sets in advance. That's what they've been doing. They've been giving it to us 2 sets in advance. For us, it's been multiple sets in advance. Like, okay, we're getting BT17 really leaks right now, and we're not getting BT17 until August. You see what I'm saying? And they'll be in BT17 before too long, actually.
I'm sorry, wait, aren't they already in BT
I think
17?
no, their BT17 releases, I believe, the end of this month. Yeah,
They're about to go into.
BT17. Yeah, it releases March 29th, 2024. That's when BT17 releases in JP. So yep, they get it. They get BT17 at the end of this month.
Nice. Yeah.
So yeah, they let us know 2 sets in advance. What's gonna be in the upcoming set. So we'll know what's getting released in April, probably start of January.
I feel like they don't really let us know that much though. Whenever I look at cards, it's like sprinkled of like the best cards in the set, but the like it feels like what they're releasing is more so it's more so for hype, but like if you don't know all the commons that come in the set, you really can't do deck building.
No, they will, because if you look at if you go to DigimonCard.io, I mean they'll tell you everything that's in it. So if you go to they update it as it's been released. So if you go to BT, yeah, pull it up. BT17 right now, it's got all the cards that have been released, which is all of them, except for apparently no, it's got all of them. There's just not images for everything yet. But they got the card name and all of the effect. So they got it right now that you could go proxy it right now if you wanted to. So it's something that they'll come out with, and then we can start figuring out. So that's the whole purpose of it, so that you can figure out the meta beforehand. People doing it now is not really. They're just trying to get ratios, is what they're really doing, to figure out our meta, because our ratios are going to be different than what JP's are, because it's best of one over there, and so it's not exactly the same, because they're building for just one game and we got to build for a best of 3.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why people are they do it over here now, just to play test ahead of time, try and get the ratios right for how they want to play the deck and whatnot, so that they can get a head start on that, and instead of just waiting to get their hands on the cards. And then now, when we get unified, we'll be doing it to figure out the meta early. Like, we'll be reviewing the cards, we'll be proxying, trying to figure out what's good, playing what is this bolster, what can I play with this, what is this gonna break, what isn't gonna break with it, trying to figure it out like that. What ratios do I want? So it's all the reason to start proxying.
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of the whole point of that, and just kind of looking at these cards, they're kind of dumb.
They are. That they are.
So, but yeah, I'm excited for the unified set release. I'm excited for these special boxes and whatnot, and with what's to come. I think it's going to be, a healthy format, and it'll finally make the ban list make sense. Because then, we're not, JP doesn't have to suffer because of us, and then we don't have to suffer because of JP. So
Ain't that the truth?
it'll fix the ban list issues that everyone's been complaining about. It'll still be a slightly different just because they're best of one and we're best of three. I think we should unify that as well. I don't know why we're not, but it is what it is.
Yeah, you're right. It is what it is.
I'm just content that we're getting unified set release, and I'll be content with that. I mean, I'm not going to worry about their meta ever again, to be completely honest. Not going to be looking at it, not going to care, just because it doesn't pertain to us anymore. I mean, if you got an upcoming event and you've seen some, and you want to see what did well in JP, I mean, sure, you see, okay, so now BT17, they did okay. These decks did okay in their thing. Okay, well, maybe they'll probably do good here, even though it's different. But you can get an idea beforehand if they have some events before us. So it'll be fun and interesting. I'm definitely excited to get that play testing in for sure.
Yeah, I'm just excited. I like that we're going to be speeding things up so much. I think it's really cool. And yeah, I mean the game's gonna be changing a whole bunch from here, and that process, however we might go about that.
For sure, and it's gonna unify us. It's just gonna be a lot of fun being able to not have to already know what the meta figured out is before we get our hands on it.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what we want. But guys, with that, we are at about time here. So thank you so much for watching. If you're here, you're wherever you're watching. If you're you're riding a bike or listening in, you could be making a sandwich. You could be playing Digimon as well. Drop a like, follow, and when you get time, just stop real quick. Put a comment down below.
Yeah, definitely let us know what you think. We love to hear from you guys. Please let us know any topics you want to hear us talk about. Anything that excites you. Let us know which sets you're most excited for upcoming. Let us know what you think about the unified game set that we're about to have. And anything else, Dante?
Oh, that is it.
All right. This was a Digimon podcast. DigiNerds out.